Season 5 has arrived, and the guys are chomping at the bit. It's another year of great hunts, crazy antics, old faces, new faces, and most importantly, a bunch of good friends doing what they love, getting their whitetail fix. The guys on the Whitetail Fix have been hunting together as a team for 5 seasons now. In that time, they've done a lot, seen a lot, and without a doubt, learned a lot. But for these guys, it's not about what they did in the past or their biggest accomplishments. It's about what inspires them, the things that drive them day in and day out.
What inspires you most about Whitetail Fix?
The difference in every individual. You know, whether you're American, Cuban, Italian, you're 40, 30, 20, it doesn't matter. We all have that one thing in common, and that is the love for the outdoors.
The brotherhood, the friendship, camaraderie.
How we can all work our full-time jobs and still maintain the family life and your other personal lives.
Sorry, up over.
You suck.
The entrepreneurial side, obviously, with starting a business from the ground up, that's what inspires me. Trying to find out new creative ideas for this business, the TV show, and even the guys. Trying to inspire them to want to do better.
The thing that inspires me most is how many people, when we started this show, told us that there was zero possibility that the show would last longer than 1 year.
I think I would have to say what inspires me.
Is that what inspires you?
You're catching that audio right there. Yeah. Sorry, Philly, that audio's kind of infiltrating our spines here. Yeah. It's kind of like. I mean, everybody has found their niche within the team, and the teamwork is really what inspires me.
When a fan of the show tells me that either their son or daughter or even their wife has become a fan of the show, and I'm even further inspired if maybe our show has encouraged them to do more in the outdoors.
Absolutely.
If that's the case, then Mike must be feeling pretty good, because there's one person that he, without a doubt, inspired to become a hunter, and it's none other than his better half, Christine.
Hi, I'm Christine Taylor. I am Mike Marsteller's better half.
That's for sure.
He's actually taught me everything I know. How to assemble a crossbow, how to shoot it, how to field dress my own deer. I had no clue that the wind was so important when you were hunting, but I've learned that.
She's just been a great addition to my hunting, period. She wants to go as much as I do. We just get along really well.
Now, whether they're in the tree stand or living everyday life, Mike knows he's blessed to be able to have such a great partner.
How has Mike made an impact on your life?
I didn't have the best childhood, and so I might cry.
Throw a Kleenex box over here.
I don't need that many. He's just showed me that, you know, I can depend on someone and they're always going to be there for me.
That's right.
Let that be a lesson to all you single fellas out there. If you can meet a girl who thinks sitting in a tree stand is a fun date, you better not let that one get away. And when the middle of September rolls around in Indiana, that means it's time for one of those fun dates in a hawk stand.
We are in our urban zone here in Indiana. It's early urban zone season where you have to shoot a doe before you can kill your buck.
For years now, Mike Marsteller and Jesse Fullwider have hunted an urban zone that holds some absolute stud whitetails. However, Mike can't even consider shooting one of those giants until he and Christine have each shot a doe. Step 1, have Christine shoot a doe. check. Step 2, Mike needs to earn his buck.
See if we can't pull off a double here this morning.
The only problem is, step 2 didn't happen that day, or the next day, or the next day, or the day after that.
Things are getting very desperate around here.
In fact, over 40 days came and went without Mike shooting his doe. And it wasn't just days that came and went. Now, to be fair, if you know Mike, you know that this deer is too young for him to shoot anyway. But the fact that he can't is still enough to make this a grueling experience.
Well, that's why it's so important to get your doe killed here in the urban zone early.
And that grueling experience continued for far too long.
43 days into the urban zone season where you have to kill a doe to earn your buck, which I have not done. It was desperate about a week and a half ago, so I don't even know what you call it now. It's just stupid. Hopefully tonight's the night. Yeah. It's just a doe, but boy, I tell you what, when you gotta earn your buck here in the urban zone, that makes a whole new meaning to shooting does, which I love to shoot does. We eat a bunch of them, so we need to fill the freezer, but add some pressure to it when you can't kill your buck until you do it, and it gets this late in October, so finally.
Mike Marsteller will have plenty of Reconyx photos to go over. After a whopping 43 days, Mike finally harvested his earn a buck doe in his urban zone, and he's finally in the stand looking for that buck he earned.
It's the morning of November the 6th, and we're on the farm that Jody killed her giant buck last year. Things started picking up yesterday. Buck started chasing does, and we've got a 5-year-old we call Infinity, who's a giant in and of himself. We got 2 more 4-year-olds, which I would not let walk, so I like my odds in here.
Well, turns out Mike's odds were even better than he thought. Not only are his hit listers on this farm, but another shooter Mike didn't recognize was passing through.
We had a wide 10-point come in front of us, made a couple scrapes. And then all of a sudden he just got nervous for no reason and took 4 or 5 quick steps to the left, which is when I drew. And then he got over, he calmed down just a little bit, and then he started quartering back into me. When he cleared a tree, I did the absolute worst thing that you could possibly do to a buck that's already keyed up. And I grunted at him. He was gone before it ever even left the stream. Since he was a deer that we did not know, we named him Lucky.
A missed opportunity just means that Mike needs to stay the course and keep hunting. And that is exactly what he's doing, as he and Christine head back to the same stand where he just missed Lucky. Mike and Christine have been hunting together for a while now, and when you spend a lot of time in the tree stand with someone, you can't help but start to notice some of their annoying little habits.
Mike, what's Christine's most irritating habit? Too late. Christine, what's Mike's most irritating habit?
It takes him forever to do anything. I mean, anything. Something that takes a normal person an hour, it'll take him 4, because he's gonna have to check it, recheck it, check it again.
Him managing me as far as what I'm doing, whether I've got the equipment ready, him worried about what I'm doing.
The crunching of things, that is an issue. For sure.
It shouldn't be but about 1.
What? What is it?
She's either going to say, because I can't hear, or because I complain.
Those are good.
She thinks that we're always going to get picked off.
I do.
Every deer in the woods is almost ready to pick us off. Stop moving. You're moving. Stop moving.
I want to kill a deer.
If helping Mike kill a deer is Christine's goal, then it just may be her lucky day.
On November the 10th, we were back on the farm where I missed Lucky, and we had another encounter with him.
Oh, he's chasing the doe. Crap. Come up here, come up here.
And he ran a doe in underneath us. You would think that being preoccupied with chasing this doe around, the last thing in the world he would do would be pick us off, but that's exactly what he did.
He picked you off?
Yes, he picked us off.
What do you think about that, Christine?
Well, I mean, sometimes the scolding should be in place, right?
Whether it's what color to paint the living room or what to do in the tree stand, just smile, nod your head, and say, "Yes, dear." Mike Marsteller is hoping that he's as dialed in as Jesse. After a rough start to the season in Indiana, including a crucial mistake on a mature buck, Mike and Christine are headed to Kansas. Mike is hoping that this change in scenery brings a change in results.
Well, that's why we drove 11 hours through the night last night to get to Kansas. This is our first morning here. We've already had 7 different does all around us, and good-looking 9-pointer got me excited. I grabbed my bow. I don't know, I think he might be a little young and maybe not what I'm looking at here on the very first day. We're here for 9 or 10 days. I got my hopes on a good one here in Kansas, so.
The activity was good, but the big, mature buck Mike was looking for didn't show up on day 1. But the next morning was a different story.
Second morning, we saw a nice deer that skirted us. I don't have much footage of him, but a deer would have shot.
That first buck may have slipped past these Indiana hunters, but they'll be ready when the next bruiser rolls through.
Second deer was a target deer that we had pictures of, a big 8-point that I was really looking to shoot. He came in a way that I had no shot at him.
Well, that's what we came to Kansas for. Great, big, mature deer. I don't know how old he was, but he was gonna get shot if I had a shot at him. But maybe I should not have made that call and hoped that I had a little hole out there at 30 or 35, but that's disappointing.
We knew we were going to get back in there, and I had a really good feeling that I would see that 8-point again the next morning.
I really wasn't sure because we were in a couple different locations. I knew we were going back to that same place the next morning, so I knew we were going to see something because every hunt we had, we were seeing deer, so.
The first thing we see is this small buck. You remember he come in from the left. She was filming just the encounter with this 1.5-year-old buck. I look up past him, I get a glimpse of a big set of horns.
Here's a big deer, big deer. You hear me, baby? Big deer coming at us.
And I just immediately know it's the 8-pointer from the other day. As a matter of fact, I don't think I ever went to my binoculars to verify the deer. I just knew it was him. And he comes in, I almost shoot him at about 30. But I decided to gamble that he's not going to do the same thing and get stuck in behind the tree like he did the day before.
That's the thing about gambling. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. Mike Marsteller is hunting in Kansas, and after letting one shooter give him the slip, he's hoping that history doesn't repeat itself.
And he comes in, I almost shoot him at about 30. But I decided to gamble that he's not going to do the same thing and get stuck in behind the tree like he did the day before. The gamble paid off. Quarterway shot at 18 yards and I pounded him.
He's not gonna take that far. Got it done in Kansas. Oh, thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. Oh, that's that big 8 that we had come in yesterday. You just crashed? Yeah. I was kicking myself all day yesterday thinking, man, I should have got it done on that deer. I really liked that deer. And sure enough, it comes back in today. Yes. Oh, he's a great big 8. He's pretty, isn't he?
Yeah.
Our Kansas hunt was a success.
It's a pretty good hunt.
Yeah, big wide 8-point, clean, beautiful deer.
Mike made amends for letting his last opportunity at a shooter slip away. He made a perfect shot on a beautiful 8-point, but this buck might not be the 8-point that Mike thought he was.
I was real certain that it was the deer from the day before. As it turns out, it was not the same deer. He's probably 10 inches shy of what the deer was I was hoping to kill, but yet still a great buck. We had
Great
a
hunt.
blast.
Got it done in Kansas this morning on this great 8-point. I got him in there at 19 yards. Made a great shot. He went less than 100 yards. This is my first whitetail in Kansas. I've been here a couple times and not filled a tag. And here I got my hands on my first Kansas whitetail.
That's one of the great things about being an outdoorsman. It seems that no matter if you just started or if you've been hunting for 50 years, there's always more firsts to be had. There is always a new opportunity to get your fix.
Thank you, Lord, for my whitetail fix.